Barstool boss and pizza rancor, Dave Portnoy, I don't know, I'm out of my mind today, has blasted the race baiters who believe Caitlin Clark is only popular because she is white.
Monica McNutt argued that Caitlin Clark's popularity comes solely from being a white girl from the heart of America, rather than her record-setting achievements, groundbreaking passing skills, or her iconic three-pointers that have transformed the game of basketball.
That is a narrative that is very popular among the morons. Major moron, Monica McNutt, how she has a job, I absolutely know, at ESPN, said, well, you know, she's in the Midwest, she's popular, and let's face it, she's a white girl. Really? Okay, let's examine.
But Dave Portnoy isn't staying quiet. He brings out viewership statistics that completely dismantle McNutt's race-based claims. Once the real numbers are considered, her argument falls apart entirely. If you support Caitlin Clark and reject McNutt's false narrative, drop a comment below telling us which city, state, or country you're watching from. Ready? Let's go.
Caitlin Clark is a superstar. Not a female superstar. She is a superstar.
We were coming to see Caitlin Clark play.
She moves the needle. The WNBA has been looking for someone who moves the needle.
Let's dive into the explosive remark ESPN analyst Monica McNutt recently made, which has basketball fans enraged. In an interview with BBC special correspondent Katty Kay, McNutt made a comment about Caitlin Clark that immediately ignited social media. She actually stated,
been spectacular and exceeded expectations. The pick and roll between Caitlin and Aaliyah has been fantastic. Kelsey Mitchell is having a career year, and all of those role players get a slice. I don't know quite how.
Well, that's a lot of pizza pie. I get you. But there's got to be one big slice, and that's Clark. What percentage are we talking about for Caitlin Clark? 80%, 90%, 95%?
I mean, listening to her all season long, I've called a couple of their games. She's team first. Statistically, you're probably looking at least 60%.
In reality, Clark averaged 19.2 points, 5.7 rebounds, and 8.4 assists per game in her rookie season. These stats aren't just impressive, they're outstanding. Her court vision, deep three-point shooting, and groundbreaking passing have changed the way women's basketball is played. Even more revealing, the Indiana Fever are slated for 41 nationally televised games next season. Networks don't schedule broadcasts based on a player's background. They do it based on who attracts viewers.
Caitlin Clark, the people's champion! Let's get it!
That's a deep one.
Bang!
Just announced that Caitlin Clark and the Fever will be playing 41 of 44 games this year on national TV. They're coming to watch the other girl, right?
Right? Bang!
Teams are moving their games with the Fever to NBA arenas so they can sell more tickets. How about that?
Bang!
Angel Reese attempted a three this deep. I think she might dislocate her shoulder.
Bang!
You want some butter with that bread? Butter.
Butter pecan!
McNutt's remarks completely overlook the highlight reel plays that have turned Clark into a superstar. The signature logo three-pointers that leave defenders frozen, the no-look passes threading impossible gaps, and the clutch performances in pressure-packed moments. None of these feats have anything to do with her being a white girl from the middle of America.
I believe there's actually a debate on who was Rookie of the Year last year. Imagine being that delusional.
Bang!
People need to understand she saved this league. Powder, there's no TV deals, no ad sponsorships, heck, no shoe deals for you, Angel Reese, no McDonald's money. The league losing millions of dollars each year. She saved them from bankruptcy. Time to be grateful.
Bang!
93% of her games on national TV.
She's like that! Bang!
Fans on social media were quick to call out McNutt for downplaying Clark's accomplishments. One commenter highlighted the flaw in her logic. If simply being white and from the Midwest made someone a basketball superstar, there would be dozens of Caitlin Clarks. The truth is, what sets Clark apart is her rare, once-in-a-generation talent.
Done. Sabrina, Brianna, Kelsey, Diana Taurasi. You had and have these white players in the league that never galvanized the people like this. All right. Now, granted, you can have some people come back and say, well, the media and the coverage wasn't as good as it is now. NILs and things like that weren't popping off. That has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with it, man. If they were that captivating, they would have got.
Claiming that Clark's record-breaking influence on viewership comes mainly from her racial background, rather than her extraordinary talent, is not only wrong, it's unfair to the sport and to all the young players who admire her, no matter their race or background.
But honestly, the main reason is because of her talents. It's not because of her race. Her race has nothing to do with it. Especially with kids. She's saying kids don't see color, man. The kids that I grew up around, and when I grew up as a kid, I didn't see color, man. I did not see color. I didn't care about color. I didn't know what color was. I just knew you were a human being, and I was trying to be your friend. It's kind of a crazy, nonsensical take to say that kids were looking up to her because...
What many don't realize is that McNutt's remarks about Clark's race aren't just an isolated hot take. They're part of a broader pattern aimed at undermining her. Evidence of this goes back to September 2024, when McNutt shockingly claimed that Clark deserved only 60% of the credit for the Fever making the playoffs. Consider that for a moment. The Indiana Fever hadn't made the postseason in 6 years before Clark arrived, yet McNutt suggested the rookie, who completely transformed the franchise, deserved barely more than half the credit for their success.
Well, after the women's NCAA championship, viewership numbers were released, where Clark in Iowa set a record for the four most watched women's college basketball games ever. Let me say it again, of all time. That's a lot. Within a 13-month span. So from one Final Four to the other Final Four, the four most watched games ever in the women's Final Four involved Iowa and Caitlin Clark. That's her junior and senior year ever.
This odd 60% assessment looks even more questionable when you see how McNutt talks about other star players. For everyone else, she typically gives full credit for team accomplishments. But when it comes to Clark, suddenly the credit has to be split. Then there was the Rookie of the Year debate, where McNutt openly supported Angel Reese despite Clark having a clearly stronger statistical case. Her reasoning? That team success should be the main factor. But isn't this the same analyst who just refused to give Clark full credit for her team's achievements? The inconsistency is impossible to ignore.
People are going to tell you that the reason Caitlin Clark was so popular in college was her rivalry with Angel Reese. Okay, you can tell us that, but based on this sentence right here by Dave Portnoy, there is no Angel Reese. There was no Angel Reese. There was South Carolina. Angel Reese played at LSU.
Basketball fans have noticed this pattern as well. Social media has blown up with calls for ESPN to hold McNutt accountable, with countless posts highlighting her constantly shifting standards for greatness. When Clark posts historic stats, McNutt shifts the focus to team achievements. When the team succeeds, she insists on sharing the credit with everyone else. And when nothing else works, she claims Clark's popularity stems from her race rather than her groundbreaking playing style. ESPN analyst Monica McNutt claimed Caitlin Clark's popularity comes from her race, but the numbers tell a different story. Clark's record-breaking stats, deep threes, and revolutionary passing have made her a must-watch star. Social media and viewership data, highlighted by Dave Portnoy, completely dismantle the race-based argument. From NCAA finals to her rookie WNBA season, Clark consistently drives massive audiences. Her talent, not background, captivates fans, elevates teammates, and transforms Indiana Fever into a powerhouse. Clark's appeal is earned on the court, and her impact is undeniable.